Tonight, it is Late Night Updates, deeper look into the Savannah Guthrie mysterious case and her deep state ties as her mother begins to become an anomaly of sorts. Well, we now peer into the husband, the strange case and the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother and everything happening in the strange town of Tucson, Arizona. Joined by Corey Daniel tonight. We are live. Yes, we are. Can you tell? Good evening, everybody. This is Late Night Update right here, the oldest franchise at Real Deal Media. I am Dean Ryan, and it's so good to be here tonight as this is a very special episode. Usually we're at a later date or time, that is, but there's no better time than now, quite frankly, as the title of this episode is Savannah Guthrie's Deep State Ties. Just the smell of deep state and the death in the carcasses that are just piling up everywhere. It's just incredible. We're going to have a focused look here tonight because this story, this incredible just story of the ages, I guess, for the new year, it never seems to go away. The timing of it is very suspect. And to join us in a little bit here is Corey Daniel, the Phoenix Enigma, who is actually in the same town, the same city as Savannah Guthrie's missing mother, Tucson, Arizona. That is, allegedly he's there. Allegedly he's there. But he's going to bring some very exclusive breaking news here tonight about what seems to be happening that in the case, the strange case. He has news and intel that you're not going to hear anywhere else. You don't want to miss that here. So he'll be joining us here shortly. But if you are just waking up to the world right now, there is some breaking news happening all over the place. And let me tell you about a few things first here before we get started, as we are broadcasting live over there on TheRealDeanRyan on Facebook. Hello, everybody. All 1% of you that can see me. Yes, I used to remember all of you. Also, we are broadcasting live on Dean Ryan TV on YouTube. Hello to all of you, just a handful of you, and the ever so free and fair Rumble. Yes, hello to everyone on Rumble. Okay, here's some things that are making some very, very unusual headlines right now as we speak, as we're just getting word that Tucker Carlson has just been arrested in Israel. What he was doing in Israel is, I'm not even sure, to be quite honest. This is just coming down the wire. Well, here it is. Apparently, he was there to see Rabbi Huckabee. You can see it there, that little strip, that landing strip of news. And here's a landing strip of a picture with the Rabbi Huckabee right there in Tel Aviv, where I guess Rabbi Huckabee lives, works, and conducts business. So there you have it. So that's what we have right now. So Tucker Carlson has been detained, arrested, and I for what, I don't even know why they would do such a thing. It's such a friendly country. What a friendly nation. They're like a good neighbor, aren't they? So we do have that for you to share. Also, some other things coming down the pikeway. Let me tell you about this too here before we get to everything. Savannah Guthrie finally. This is just coming in. We're getting word that the Russian and Chinese warships have now gone near the region of the Strait of Hormuz over there in Iran. I can't understand why. Hell of a time to do cruising unless they're preparing for the bigger war that Netanyahu wants. I made the case that you're going to start seeing some very strange red flags begin to creep up here in the United States because of the simple fact that Donald Trump he balked at the kinetic war invitation that Netanyahu has been trying to get him, mandating him to do. And I was scrolling through a lot of the social medias, and what do you know? Well, no, on top of the tranny shooter from the other day, which I have to show you a picture of that, we do have now Senate. I swear to you, I just, no one tipped me off, but I got word that the U.S. Senate is now looking into using the 25th Amendment on Trump. Now, whatever your feelings are about Donald Trump and the Epstein files, the fact of the matter is, if he is the best thing we got right now from preventing our country, the United States, for going into World War III, then we can only hope that this failed attempt, again, is another attempt of that failure. However, knowing the fact that little Marco Rubio, the little secretary that could, is in the powerful position to oust him, that has me worried. So I do have that to share. Okay, let me just get situated. There's so much going on. It's just a tornado of things I must share with you. Okay, I want to. Our next guest here is going to be joining me for the remainder of this late night update. This is a man who has really become a real gumshoes in his own right. Really just combing the Arizona deserts over there in Tucson to find the missing woman who, well, just last night, if you missed it, Jim Fetzer said there's been an effort of a couple of people using the Wayback Machine to find Savannah's mother, and said she died years ago. We're finding all kinds of stuff out. Well, to discuss this and a whole lot more is the one and only Corey Daniel, a.k.a. the Phoenix Enigma. You can catch his wonderful show. Let's welcome him to the stage. Mr. Gumshoes. Corey, good to see you.
Howdy. Evening, sir. Thank you for the nice introduction there.
Well, I rehearsed it in the mirror all day. Did you want to comment on, I know you're a big Tucker Carlson fan and, everything happening. I mean, talk about a disgraceful thing, arresting an American in Israel. And when we pay for them, who do they think they are?
I think they are a proxy pseudo-nation, ethno-state, propped up, paid for by U.S. intelligence agencies that are on the ropes over there. They're at their last. I think that Israel is nothing more than an extension of CIA / United States / MI6 / UK hegemony. I think it's been that way since the end of World War II, 1948. I think everyone just pretends, everyone in America and the West pretends that Israel is its own country when the rest of the world understands that Israel is the CIA. Mossad is the CIA. CIA is Mossad. It's all interchangeable. And
what came first?
I think Britain came first, and then we had a little revolution, right? And then we got together World War II, and the petrodollar. We invented the petrodollar, and we said, hey, let's just set up this thing over here and just engage in confabulation for the rest of until we can't any more over there in the Middle East, and we'll just do whatever we want, and we'll have these guys do it. And they got the Zionists, and the Zionists pulled together. And I think that they're on their last leg right now. I think America's waking up. America sees it. The mask is off. Everyone's fed up. Trump has lost his base. Trump's lost MAGA. And I think did you see what's his name today? The young dude. His name just escapes me here.
It'll come back to you.
It will.
By the way, my new favorite word is confabulation. Until you said that, I've been Yes, it's going to be a T-shirt soon. But you know,
Yeah.
there's a big connection here. You know, we talked about
Nick
the Trump
Fuentes.
factor. Oh yes, Nick Fuentes. What? Yeah, finish your
He
thought
went
there.
scorched earth. He went scorched earth on Trump. He's like, fuck the Republicans. F this, F
Well,
that, F Trump, F MAGA. I'm
yeah.
done. We need to hire Hitler next time because he screwed everything up. He went off, and he's like, don't vote Republican. We're done. And he said, I'm done with it all. He's telling all of his listeners, all the groypers out there, to just not vote. So when Trump has lost that, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the groypers, the actual definition and creation of that. There's a big Epstein angle to that. I don't know if you're aware. It just popped in my head. But yes, okay. So yeah, Nick Fuentes, who is well, I'm a little iffy on him whether he's.
I think it's
what team he's playing for.
Yeah, but,
okay,
but
well,
I mean, to
I
answer
think
your
so.
initial
I think so.
question, Candace's tying Israel in. I think America's figured out that Israel killed Charlie if he is indeed dead, and they've lost it. So Tucker and Candace are probably the biggest mouthpieces out there that can lead what's left of the conservative right back to Israel. They've lost it. Judeo-Zionist Christianity, thank God, Christian Zionism is on its way down in this country. That's why they're just injecting so much money back into it, because the Zionists need their cash cow. So anyway, arresting Tucker, I think, was nothing more than putting a chilling effect on the slaughter of an interview he was going to do with the ambassador over there. And
well, that's just it. He released the Huckabee interview, Rabbi Huckabee's interview. So I'll have to check that out later. We invite people to do so. And in fact, Corey, we just got word he has been let go.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Carlson has been let go. I don't know if you're aware of this. He is now, and he's going to be singing like a bird, I'm sure.
Yeah. He
so
said that they took him and threw him into
wow.
a room, and they questioned him, in like a little interrogation room. And Israel said, no, we didn't do anything other than, standard, passport procedures and protocol.
They never do anything wrong. It's just a big misunderstanding with the Israelis. Yeah. It's not what you think. You did it.
Yeah. Psychopathic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
you did it. You did it, my friend.
But I think he got the hell out. He skinned out. I don't think he'll be going back. And I can't believe he went over there anyways after what he said about Israel. I mean, shit. I mean,
oh God, no!
I wouldn't go to Israel.
You couldn't pay me to go to that country.
Oh God, no!
You couldn't pay me.
You might not come back.
No, you couldn't pay me. You could not pay me to go there. Okay, I want to bring this up too. So we have the warships coming, but Netanyahu's very upset, and I'm going to show you, because I'm going to tie this all in together, and it has a lot to do with what we're about to get into here with the mysterious disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to be breaking some news here tonight. In fact, Corey tried to tell me last night after the show, and I said, Corey, don't tell me. Wait, just tell me tomorrow. But this is what we're going to be seeing a lot more of, I believe. You had Netanyahu call for the blacks, the gays, and the trannies, in no particular order, to unite and come and go against Donald Trump, which there's plenty of that to go around. But there's some very bizarre weirdness to it all here. Let me show you, because there was a shooting just yesterday in Rhode Island at a hockey rink. I don't know if you're aware of this. Apparently, a tranny father, so someone who was born a male, but became a woman and has a family, I guess, shot up his entire family. This is so bizarre. And Rhode Island, mind you, we never hear anything much out of there. And I think this, in the timing of it, Corey, I know you're one for timing to understand how these things work, is impeccable to the point that one must ask, did this have anything to do with, what Netanyahu was saying? So I had a picture of that, but we, due to the limitations here, so I'll show you that in a bit here. Okay, so let's now get to things here. roughly earlier in the month of February, you might have heard of the missing mother of Savannah Guthrie, who is very well known in daytime television on the Today Show. I believe she took over for Katie Couric, or the one after that. Anyways, she's a staple on American TV. And one of the things that we remembered was the press conferences and the sheriffs, and just it never seems to fail. In fact, I'm going to have one of our producers come in here and make sure to add that. But yeah, I mean, were you, before I show you this clip that I put together for you, were you aware who Savannah Guthrie was, Corey, before all this debacle began to come to light?
I didn't know her by name, but I recognized her voice when she was interviewing Trump during the 2016 election. When I went back and watched, I remember her voice, but I don't watch mainstream TV. I don't watch, the 3-letter news. So I don't know any of these people. It's just all, propaganda from the state. I stopped watching that shit years ago, for the most part.
Okay. So yeah, it seems to be a lot of propaganda. So we all noticed this. I'm going to have our producer come in here, Mick. I think he's here. Yes, there he is. Okay, so yeah, so this is what we found out. That's somebody else. Here's the press conference of the sheriff of Tucson. This is him talking about it. Then we'll escapade to the next after that. But here it is, February 5th is kind of when it all began. Check this out.
The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department. And we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. And this will be the missing persons with the reward that will be going out. The FBI has agents, analysts, and professional staff employees working day and night with our partners at the Sheriff's Department. We have deployed additional intelligence and agents from our Phoenix office. We have brought in our critical incident response group from Quantico, Virginia. Members from our cellular analysis survey team are here, and they continue to collect and process digital information.
There you go. There's the G-men talking about it. And this is following the TMZ, breaking intel. I mean, because that's who broke the story. Look, from day one, I thought this was weird. I didn't pay attention because it happened the day of the Epstein release. They also were requesting Bitcoin that crashed the day of. So everything was all in concert. And I find that to be very suspect. It's in, I want to say Pima County. Am I getting that right? Who just
Pima,
so happens
P-I-M-A, Pima.
Yes, Pima, who just so happens to be, I believe, in the running or currently doing a reality TV show about the county. That's very interesting. So that happened. And Corey, when this all went down, what did you think right off the bat? Did you think that this was just another case, or was there something deeper into it because of the alignment with the Epstein files?
So when this first went down, it was just, some older woman got kidnapped in Tucson. I'm like, all right, I am sure that happened before and sad and whatever. And then it's like, oh, and then you learn it's Savannah Guthrie's mother. And you're like, well, that's probably why they did it, because she had money. And it's like, all right. And then it's like, well, and my first thought was it's cartels. It's the cartels. And this is some kind of a wedge issue. It could be a wedge issue. We know the cartels in Mexico and south of the border don't operate on their own. We know they work in concert with U.S. intelligence agencies. We know they work with retired U.S. intelligence agencies, private intelligence agencies, private contracting, people, all of it. It's all one big. If you know what I'm talking about, go watch a documentary. All of you right now out there, called after the show, called The Octopus Murders. Watch that. And everything that's happening right now will make a whole lot of sense to you, right? But I thought it was just a kidnapping, and it's probably cartel. If it is cartel, it was facilitated with the help of our government in order to create a wedge issue. And then, because what was the number one topic? What was the number one topic during the last election cycle? It was the border and illegal immigration. So if we're heading into the midterms and Trump has lost his base and he's lost MAGA, he's up shit creek, he's going to want to drive all those moderates right back to the right again. So that made the most sense to me out of the gate.
Okay, well, yeah, exactly. Me too. I felt bad. For the whole thing. Now, we started to notice something, and I'm going to play it for you and the audience all over the world here. Some very unusual things and noticings that many people started to take note of, because it was impossible to avoid the story when we were all trying to pay attention to the Epstein case. And all of a sudden, we saw the following. Check this out. We put the clues together. Here it is.
Has anybody seen Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter. Did anybody ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? The young people didn't. Hannibal Lecter. Dr. Hannibal Lecter. The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. The late, great Hannibal Lecter would like to have you for dinner. He would love to have you for dinner. He will take you. He wants you for dinner. That's the end of you, by the way. He'd love to have you for dinner. You, right there. Don't do it. If he suggests, I'd like to have you for dinner, don't go. They say, why does he keep mentioning it? Because Hannibal Lecter was a serious psycho. He was a slightly troubled patient. He mentions Hannibal Lecter. It doesn't make sense. No, it makes a lot of sense. They're coming into our country. And I say, the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Oh, he likes Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter, how great an actor was he? You know why I like him? Because he said on television, on one of the, I love Donald Trump, so I love him.
Yeah, who knows what he'll do.
Thank you, Clary. Thank you. So you're probably asking yourself, what does Hannibal Lecter have to do with anything? Well, that's a great question, Corey. Well, now check this out, because it's almost like this thing has been scripted since the conception of the entire plot. This is Savannah Guthrie at the press conference, the first press conference with her siblings, in the tears and everything. This happened immediately after the sheriff spoke, and here she is.
She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
So that was Savannah on the left, and that was a scene from the film Silence of the Lambs from 1991 on the right. Corey, I don't think you'll be sleeping tonight. What are your thoughts on that? Because there's something very awry going on here.
Oh, I have all kinds of thoughts. First of all, I want to say the movie Snake Eyes with Charlie Kirk. In the movie Snake Eyes, Charlie Kirk in real life dies exactly like the movie, the entire movie, not just the movie.
Charlie Kirkland. Yeah.
Charlie Kirkland and Don, who owns the boxing arena, and the guy gets shot in the neck. It's an Iranian dude, you know what I mean? That does the shooting, all of it. And it happened on September 9th, I think, one day off from the 10th, on the thing outside. And then I look back to Isaac Cappy, the investigation that I did back in the day. And everyone says, oh, come on, Corey, he couldn't have been murdered, blah, blah, blah. And they couldn't have blocked the bridge off. And I'm like, well, you know what? Okay. And now we got this with the Silence of the Lambs. And, man, I don't know. It's
Talk to her and you shall see. Talk to her and you shall see. That is by far the creepiest ever.
Yeah, I don't know if they're spinning up the CERN and we're just spinning around. We're literally rewriting our freaking dimensions. By the way, CERN came out a couple days, not to go off topic here. I'm not going to go too far, but they said that they destroyed like 2 or 3 of our parallel dimensions. Did you hear that?
No, but I can give you credence to that, because I reported what was actually on the Bunter Hyden desktop, or laptop rather, wasn't just his naked rendezvous with the Obama daughters, the fake daughters. It was the blueprints for the dimensional traveling of CERN, which is what they were doing. So they go beyond just the tunnel boring.
Well, that's also what Jeffrey Epstein was doing at the mathematics department and the physics department at Harvard. Was he was trying to corrupt and compromise, educators and the greatest minds in the country to pull them into U.S. intelligence for military-industrial complex on the behalf of Israel. That's been declassified. So
did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know
There
that?
you
I did
go.
not know that. Did you know? So it's kind of creepy altogether. So Savannah, and this has been on the American television to this day. It still is on now, even today. That's in the headlines. Nancy Guthrie, the mother, her pacemaker was now found in an unbiased witness. They have to now say that in the case. Another anomaly: her security cam footage or security cameras were not in subscription. They were not working. However, they managed to capture, this guy who was covered in his face with, a bouquet of flowers. I mean, this thing is like the swap meet version of a kidnapping, just from cradle to grave here. But you got involved. So you got involved. Why don't you walk us from there? You got involved in this case because you're in Tucson. They're in Tucson. You're not, too far from the county. What have you learned and discovered? Because you have some bombshell intel you want to drop here tonight.
So I got sources. I got people. People reach out to me. I work with people, and someone approached me the day before yesterday, and we got to talking about the Guthrie. Hey, what do you know about that? And this person told me, "Oh, how do I word this very carefully here? Let me just put it this way. I got a tip that came from the FBI. Somebody in the FBI leaked something they weren't supposed to, apparently, or they, whatever. It found its way to my ear. This isn't just something I'm making up. This isn't something that's like a hearsay. The chain is solid. I have it on the highest authority from the FBI that on day one after Mrs. Guthrie was kidnapped, TMZ got the email, right? We know that. And then the TMZ forwarded the email over to the FBI or the authorities. I don't know if it was the FBI. It might have been the Pima County at that point, but the FBI was there on the scene that same day as well. What none of you know that you're about to know right now is that the following day, they got another email. And in that other email, it said, your mother has passed. Nancy is dead. She had an injury, and apparently she needed medication from what it looked like, and she died last night. And, they said they didn't apologize, but the context of it was something akin to, we didn't mean for this to happen. And radio silence. And then they never gotten back in touch. And then they started getting the communications coming in to TMZ about give us a Bitcoin and we'll tell you who the kidnappers are, which I assume is going to be Plan B. Or just another red herring. I think at this point, based on everything we know now, I think this is a U.S. intelligence operation. I think it's tied to Jeffrey Epstein. I have several reasons for that. We're going to go into in a minute here. But anyway, my information is that they knew the second or the third day that Nancy Guthrie was gone, according to my contact.
Okay.
And, they've been going out since then. And Mrs. Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie, has been going out saying, bring my mom back. Even as of 3 days ago, she came on, online, and she did that. I was what me and Alicia were watching, and I said, oh, hey, here's Savannah Guthrie talking about her mom. And I said, is she telling the truth? And Alicia's like, hell no. I said, no, I bet she's lying. She's lying. You can tell in her face. The breathing patterns, all, you know what I mean? It was obvious something was off. And then the next day I learned this tip. So it all makes sense that she knows her mom's
right. And here is the, now we're going to get into the deep state ties.
By the way,
there's a lot to tie.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but the mainstream media doesn't know this. If you're watching this show and you watched my show last night, you know what no one else in America knows. because I don't have that big of a reach. You might, maybe it'll blow up tomorrow with your connections. I don't know, but no one in the country has contacted me. I thought I'd get some phone calls today. I thought maybe the FBI would come knocking. No one's come knocking. No one said anything. So if you're watching this tonight, you know something, according to this case, that no one else knows. This is truly breaking news.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I came knocking. I came contacting you. So that's how, you hit the big time there. But here. So, okay. So just to reiterate here, we just broke some news here that Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, in a leaked email by the FBI, which was stated as far back as the second day of the case, in the missing case, it stated that Nancy Guthrie has actually passed. Now, last night, this almost kind of correlates with what our colleague Jim Fetzer said, that somebody had a way back when machine and discovered that the mother actually passed long ago. Then you take into account that in Savannah Guthrie's own autobiography, she talked about how, growing up, they played, no, they didn't play cops and robbers. No, they played kidnappers. Like, this was their game they played, which, reeks of, some weird kind of mind control operations of sorts. Just, I don't even understand. But now let's go a little deeper here as we now get into the fold of this, which is now looking as you said, a State Department operation of sorts. Because who is Savannah Guthrie's husband, who we've yet to see on the stage showing any kind of a concern or support for his mother-in-law and wife?
Yeah, that'd be Michael, wouldn't it? Isn't that Michael? The hell's his last name here? Michael. I had it queued up.
Yeah, we have it somewhere. And talk to her and you shall see. I mean,
Michael Feldman.
I mean, that right there. Yeah, Michael Feldman. Okay, now who's Michael Feldman?
Michael Feldman. He. I'm like, okay, Michael Feldman. Who's Michael Feldman? I was looking him up today. Michael Feldman worked for the Clintons for 8 years. He is a prominent strategic communications consultant with over 3 decades of experience in politics, policy. That's a big one. If you don't know what that is, that's actually a big deal. Public affairs and crisis management, like, I don't know, getting caught stooping kids maybe on an island somewhere. He began his career in the United States Senate, legislative analysis, Senate Democrat. This guy's a hard hitter. This guy's like probably the upper 1% of intelligence in the country. He was there, man. Early 1990s. He worked us Harris Wofford's special election campaign, Pennsylvania. From 93 to 2000, he served the Clinton Gore White House, holding roles including senior advisor for President Clinton, traveling chief of staff for Al Gore. So this guy's a heavy hitter, which means that if he was the primary crisis management advisor for the Clintons and the Epstein files get released on January 30th and his mother-in-law disappears within 6 hours, something's happened. This isn't a coincidence. No. Because this guy, Michael Feldman, and Savannah Guthrie probably know enough to put the Clintons away and to rip the scab off of this nightmare that is now America. And I think this is preemptive.
Well, how do we explain? Okay, how do we explain the, Trump and "Let me have you for dinner" and the Hannibal Lecter references to the extreme where you saw a footage of the first footage we saw in that film there. You had one of the athletes in the Super Bowl literally show up to the Super Bowl to prepare for the game in a Hannibal Lecter mask and everything. I mean, that's not a coincidence, everybody. This is some kind of symbolic messaging, which a lot of these elites, they chit-chat that way. That's how they communicate in these Illuminati kind of ordeals here. How do you explain that, Corey? Because we know communication, 90% of it is nonverbal.
It's nonverbal. Yeah, it's how people move and act. Let me give you an analogy to help you out. There was a Transformers movie where I don't know if it's part 2 or 3 or whichever one, where the Decepticons were like attacking the Hoover Dam. And the general picks up the phone, right? And they're about to win. We're about to lose the Earth, you know. He says, Admiral, bring out the special weapon. He's like, no, we can't. Not the special weapon. You know, like, yes, you have to do it. The stake of Earth is at stake. And he's like, all right, great. And he goes and the camera shoots to a battleship. I believe it's a battleship or it wasn't an aircraft. It was like a big battleship, whatever, just smaller than like an aircraft carrier. And it's ported off the coast of California. And the deck opens up and this railgun comes out. All right. And it shoots and kills the Decepticons, and we save the world, right? About a month later, there was an event in California. The military put it on, and a reporter was there, and he goes, hey, didn't I see that last month in the premiere of the Transformers movie? Isn't that the gun and the boat that was in? And the spokesperson for the Navy says, absolutely. We contract with Hollywood quite often to plant these things into movies to desensitize the American population to new trends, new technologies, new this, new that. And it softens it. It's part of our, whatever it was, releasing the information program, whatever, he had a fancy name for it. That's what happens. So when you see Trump going on and on and on about Hannibal Lecter, when they're priming us, when they're prepping us, when they're getting us ready for what's going to happen in the future, it's subliminal conditioning. It's programming. And it's at every level of our society. I mean, Bitcoin is prep for the decentralized currency, for the digital currency. They had to break it.
And created by Epstein.
Exactly.
Created by he was Toshi. He was Toshi the whole time.
That's right. So social media itself is also a desensitization program to living virtually, and we've all jumped into it. So go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so I want to talk. So Michael Feldman, the husband of Savannah now, it's been reported too. He was heavily involved in the Cloroxing, the scrubbing of Hillary's emails. Now, let me just say that you can look at the Clintons from 20 years ago, even 30 to even present day, and the amount and stacks of dead bodies around that couple. It's tremendous. And everybody who's worked for them has, played with them as friends, you name it. It's no coincidence, too, just that in about 10 days from now, the Clintons are going to be giving a deposition that's going to be public. And this has all happened within a month's time or less than that, from the mother missing to, seek them and you shall see, to Trump having you over for dinner. I mean, everything is happening all at once. So was he about to sing? You must ask, because the guy is very quiet. This husband of Savannah, is he about to say things they don't want him to? Is it Trump who's behind the missing mother? All these weird things, because Trump, it benefits Trump for everybody to be focused on the Clintons. However, you have Hillary and her revengefulness, inviting the world to come and watch us, watch the public deposition in about 10 days. And so what are your thoughts on that, Corey? Because we just saw the Ghislaine deposition the other day, and we don't even know who the hell that woman was.
That wasn't Ghislaine. That was not Ghislaine. I think the world
it certainly wasn't.
Yeah, no, everyone agrees that was not Ghislaine. AI agrees. Different AI language models agree that wasn't Ghislaine. No one thinks that was Ghislaine. Not even people who worked at the fucking prison believe that was Ghislaine.
No. And if I was Ghislaine Maxwell, I would be ashamed that they picked that woman to play her. I mean, we made the case it could have been a whole host of different people. We thought it was this person first, but we could be wrong. What are your thoughts on that? Someone like that. What are your thoughts on this deposition? Because there's the concerto timing of it all is beyond suspect. Could he be providing information to the prosecution? We don't even know. But why even worry
here? I'm going to give you a 1 minute answer here. It's going to be a little bit long, but this is very important. I didn't have a chance to say this last week, I don't think, on your show to the extent that I wanted to. Trump is not, he's in charge, but he's not in charge. His job, he's a CEO. His job is to sail the ship of state. What Trump truly is and who he truly is, we may never know. But what's at stake right now isn't just America. It's not the Republican Party. It's not our way of life. It is Western civilization. I don't like Trump. I don't like what he's doing. I don't like what he's done. I don't like the left. I don't like the right. I don't like the deep state. I don't like what America has become. I don't like ICE on the streets doing what they're doing. I don't like them opening up the borders, creating this problem. I don't like everything we've done has been a nightmare on earth. We are the bad guys. We are the great Satan, you know, if you will. That being said, the world's had enough. And China, India, Brazil, Russia, the BRICS nations got together the same way that Saddam Hussein and Assad and Gaddafi did back before, remember, only on 9/11, they were trying to put together their own gold-backed currency, and that wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to debase the petrodollar. But the petrodollar is on its way out right now anyways, because we've been cheapening it by weaponizing it, and no one wants to hold U.S. currency anymore because we weaponize it. And Trump's plan is to force the American currency to go down and then go to a digital currency and have the world buy into it to replace the petrodollar. That's what's at stake right now. No one's looking at that. Everyone goes about Russia and the Ukraine. Okay. That's not about Ukraine. It's not about Russia. Okay. That's about Iran and Israel and Western hegemony in the Middle East and controlling oil. That's what that's about. We started in 2014-15 over there with the Ukraine and used it as a battering ram against Russia to deplete their troops, their money, their ammunition, their oil reserves, everything, so that when we did go and attack Iran at the bequest of Israel, which is our military industrial complex, Russia wouldn't be able to put up that big of a fight. And we're taking out China economically. So all that is at stake right now. What everything's hinging on at home, keeping the base aligned and keeping the ship of state moving forward, is Epstein. Everyone understands what Epstein is. Everyone understands the U.S. intelligence agencies used kids in honeypots, and they facilitated the raping of children and the murder of people for over 2 decades in this country to blackmail our allies and our enemies and everyone else in between. And Americans are sick of it. That's what's at stake. Right. That's why we will never find the Epstein files out. That's why no one will ever be prosecuted. That's why Ghislaine Maxwell is already out of jail in Israel with Epstein. That's why it's never going to happen. And that's why this war with Iran is going to get escalated before you can do that. And we're going to be at war, or they will continue to debase the dollar, and they'll put us in further straits to keep us busy.
The only saving grace, Corey, and we have a break, and then we're going to be taking everybody's inquiries when we get back before Corey has to get out of here. He has an assignment, but the only saving grace, if there's any to save it all, is the fact that it's been widely reported now, except for the mainstream Uransoak media, that Benjamin Netanyahu, Mr. John J. Sullivan, has contracted apparently blood cancer, if you can believe it, which tells me he's looking for an out if he doesn't get his way. If this war doesn't happen.
He's looking at prison for the rest of his life. The Likud party, is about to go down over there too. Israel's sick of him. He's got the Sicilian flu is what's going on. If you're familiar with that term. You know what that term is?
Is that AIDS?
No. The Sicilian flu back in old Chicago.
I'm sorry.
Mafia, right?
Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I knew what that was.
Wheel him in a wheelchair with oxygen. It's like, Your Honor.
Sicilian flu.
Sicilian flu.
I'm sorry. Yeah, because I'm thinking of Bill Clinton. That's why, and he just screams that he has. Absolutely.
He has AIDS.
Yeah, I think he's patient zero of that whole thing. Okay, so anyways, we're going to take a quick break here, as the breaking news is a leaked email starting day 2 of the investigation of the missing mother of Savannah Guthrie, Nancy. The leaked email stated that Nancy is no more. She has passed. This, correlates with what we shared with you last night on Late Night Update, that Nancy passed long ago. So maybe long ago was early February. We're trying to figure out this jigsaw puzzle. So That's how we see it there. So here's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to take this quick break, and we're going to come back here with Corey Daniel, who we're putting the dugout. You can think about what he's done and said so far. Anyways, when we get back, we're going to take a lot of your inquiries. We have a record amount of people here tonight, and we're trying to put this together with all of you right here on Real Deal Media's finest. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick message.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. Conjunction, junction, how's that function? I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done. Conjunction, junction, what's their function? I got and, but, and, or, they'll take you pretty far. And that's an additive like this and that. And then there's but, that's sort of the opposite, not this, but that. And then there's or, when you have a choice like this or that, and, but, and or gets you pretty far. It gets you pretty far. Yes. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up 2 boxcars and making them run right. What? Milk and honey, bread, butter, peas and rice. Hey, that's nice. Dirty but happy, digging and scratching, losing your shoe and a button or two. He was conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. Conjunction, junction, how's that function? I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done. Conjunction, junction, what's their function? I got and, but, and, or, they'll take you pretty far. And that's an additive like this and that. And then there's but, that's sort of the opposite, not this, but that. And then there's or, when you have a choice like this or that, and, but, and, or gets you pretty far. It gets you pretty far. Yes. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up 2 boxcars and making them run right. What? Milk and honey, bread, butter, peas and rice. Hey, that's nice. Dirty but happy, digging and scratching, losing your shoe and a button or two. He was conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. Conjunction, junction, how's that function? I got 3 favorite cars that get most of my job done.
What is going on? What is going on? Okay, we are just about back. Wonderful. I was thinking about getting this haircut, really bringing it back to where it all started. Okay, we are live now. All right. Welcome back to Late Night Update. If we are there. I am still Dean Ryan here. Welcome everybody back to the show. If you are just joining us, this is your first time. This is a real ordeal. Breaking news. A lot of breaking news happening here, which we'll review here in a moment. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Real Deal Media members, the Night Owls, who make everything possible. The Night Owls. We call them Night Owls because they're very inquisitive, hence the owl. He's always asking the question of who? Of who? If you like more of those small-time jokes, I'll be at the Hilton this weekend, opening for Buddy Hackett. Don't want to miss that. Anyways, we're going to be getting back to it, but you can become a Real Deal Media member by going to realdealmedia.tv. Join tonight. Why wait till tomorrow? Yes, why wait? Okay. We're going to be getting back into the minutia of it all here tonight, as we have learned a lot here. We've learned a lot about this cosplay of an ordeal that has very, very deep ties to the deep state, to the Clintons. It's very eerie. And let me just say that when you hear somebody quoting the Silence of the Lambs in a press conference when you're in search of your missing mother, I mean, that truly just hits to the core of, like, are we in the midst of a horror movie, of a psychological thriller by Stephen King of sorts? And it just never sits well with me. I mean, this is what I'm talking about.
She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
Catherine is very gentle and kind. Talk to her and you'll see.
Talk to her and you'll see. So now let's talk to Corey. Daniel will bring him back to the stage and we'll see ourselves. Corey, welcome back to Late Night Update. Thank you for joining us here tonight. It's not an easy case, you know. I mean, we all have mothers. We all know the old lady, you know, from the neighborhood. It doesn't sit well with me having to see this play out in the way it has, and now to hear about the untimely death. It's just, this is a sick psychological thriller we're all witnessing here, is it not?
It's just bad the way around, man. It's just there's no theory that you could put to this where someone's not doing something really bad, really bad. If anything, a psychological domestic terrorist or operation designed to terrorize Americans. That alone, that our government, that we pay for, that is absolutely infuriating.
Right.
That we pay for this shit daily. That it's out of control. You know, that's what just irks me the worst. But I mean, that the ship of state is in the state where this is required to keep us afloat is terrifying.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's like the petrodollar. We need a war to keep prop up the dollar. But I know before we sunset here, why don't we take a few questions if you're up for the challenge of that. We have an incredible, affluent audience, effective from all over the world. Why don't we start here on Rumble, who is just having a lot of just realizations here. Here is something very interesting. A lot of people are talking about the deposition of the Clintons coming up. And by the way, depending what time that is, if it is live, you can guarantee that we'll be covering that live right here on Real Deal Media with myself and a whole cast of bandits, Jim Fetzer, maybe even Corey himself. We'll see. Here's the first question we have from Rebel Mama. In no particular order, here it is. She asked, there are two witnesses to the Benghazi cover-up that have surfaced over the past few weeks. An Afghanistan national arrested and picked up, and a super soldier that was unalived. What are your thoughts on that? I don't know if you're familiar with that story, Corey, but that had a lot to do with Ambassador Stevens in 2011 during the Benghazi revolution, who was left behind on purpose, which is, you know, and was killed and murdered viciously when there was support to save him, pick him up as they were retreating. There was a stand-down order that was given. Now, I happen to know personally of the Benghazi whistleblower, Mr. Nicholas Snow, good friend of mine, and he confirms what we all know. There was a stand-down order given by Hillary Clinton. Can you believe it, when she was Secretary of State? So, you know, will that come to, who knows what will happen, if there's any justice that will be seen from that ordeal. Yeah. Go ahead, Corey.
Allegedly, there was arms trafficking going on, and there most certainly, and there also we're talking about people being trafficked out of there, younger people as well.
Absolutely.
That
it was brutal. It was brutal.
Those rumors were bouncing around, and if that tied in arms trafficking, we know, what did Robert Maxwell do? He was an arms trafficker primarily for Israel, right? When he died,
and explain who Robert Maxwell is.
Robert Maxwell is Ghislaine Maxwell's father. Robert Maxwell's other daughter, I forget her name, she helped found and runs the Centennial software that the FBI uses, if you guys didn't know that. Maxwell's other daughter helped craft the Centennial software. Not to be confused with the Oracle software owned by Larry Ellison, who just got TikTok and Paramount. I think he has some of HBO as well, if I'm not mistaken, some other stuff. So there is a deep state. The deep state is Israel.
Oh, yeah.
it is Israel and the CIA. For you, and I want to say, you know, I'm going to show my true color, my true badge here. If there's any Zionist Christians out there, you need to seriously rethink your position. You need to really understand what's happening here, because Zionism is a construct. It's not true Christianity in the sense. And if you are adhering to that, you are doing the will of Israel.
Well, okay. Well, there you have it. And, you know, one of the secret, silent supporters of that, too, is beyond the Christian Zionists, is the Mormon Zionist supporters. That's a whole nother bag of jelly beans here. Here we have some more people commenting.
Beyond.
Speaking of the unalive, Seth Black says the following. Says, Pearl Jam said, I'm alive too. Yes, they did. You know, Eddie Vedder has a lot to explain. He's never criticizing anyone of the Democrat nature. Here we have Mr. Rick 25E, which is a wonderful name. Consolidation of the digital net. We also had, what's his name? Dr. Shiva installed the entire email system in the Clinton White House. Who actually tried to run for president. Yeah, Dr. Shiva was responsible for that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Shiva did invent the email, didn't he? That was his baby.
Yeah, Shiva. Yeah, he's the grandfather of it all. Yeah, that is true. Did you know, Corey? Did you know? Just there's that one too. Okay, we have some other people talking about this one. Here we have Carly Markley. Thank you for being here. I think we're joining us. Thinking it's the daughter's husband may all be part of the deep state. Now, yeah, that was something that came out early on in regards to the Guthrie case. Then we didn't hear about it, and then we see the sister or the other daughter at the press conference with Savannah and the brother, like nothing happened, and then we don't hear about it anymore. You know, it's just mind-boggling. Okay, so there's that one. Here is a lot of people say don't eat at McDonald's anymore. You know, I stopped eating there, but Corey, the coffee is really good. I don't know. I'm very torn sometimes.
The coffee is good at McDonald's. I got to tell you,
it really is. Just don't spill it on yourself.
At all. Yeah,
don't spill that coffee. With the hottest coffee in the world. Don't I know it? Let's just. I can hit those high notes too now. By the way, here's another one here. So we have. Let me go back to Rumble, and. So much to see here. Yeah, Michael Jackson. And here's Carly, who is, thank you, Carly. Carly is on the money here tonight. The mother may have been in on her disappearing. That's, you know, look, if they were playing a family fun game of kidnapping, which, you know, what family didn't, right, Corey? I mean, that's just the Americana thing to do. You know, you put the ski mask on, dad puts the ski mask on, and I've thought about that angle too, Carly. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Here is, and no word on Tucker Carlson, by the way. I'm waiting for an official statement from him about what took place, and I hope to God he taped it.
Fine. Tucker's gonna be fine. His father was CIA. Tucker's protected.
You mean his father wasn't a car salesman?
No, Tucker's dad was CIA.
Well, he sold me a car. I don't know. I guess that's news to me. Okay, so I think that's going to be good there. And so let's kind of sum it up here, Corey, because people are talking about McDonald's. I don't know how this got through. I haven't eaten McDonald's. I haven't had that in ages, so I'm fine on that. But Corey, we're going to kind of to sunset it all there. When you sit back here and take it all in of what we're learning, what we've learned here tonight, on both ends of the spectrum, from the Guthrie case to Trump and having you for dinner to the Clintons deposition, Tucker, the whole thing. Just sum it all up in your kind of final thoughts here. What are we to take from this?
Well, I mean, to continue what I was saying earlier when I got a little deep and heavy there, Western civilization's at stake right now. And Epstein is the unraveling of it. Epstein is deep finance, it's liquid finance, it's human trafficking, it's weapons dealing, it's offshore accounts, it's quite possibly underground bases, off-world technology, eugenics programs, all of that. I mean, they're finding out this week here that Zorro Ranch was a eugenics operation. The guy that I guess has ownership of it now funds eugenics programs, or did fund eugenics programs and life extension technology. They were big into that. The Lifeboat Foundation. The people that Epstein was working for, with, and among are, I don't say they're elite, not in the sense that they're good people, but they're at the top echelon of the talent and value of the human species in terms of their ability to produce and push the limits of our species forward. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And they were pushing forward technologies, and they still are. Just because Epstein's gone, wherever he's at, they pulled him out, doesn't mean it's done. Everything we're experiencing right now, with from Guthrie to Iran to the wars abroad to all of it, has to do with Epstein. Isaac Cappy said it best. Epstein is the keystone to the whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all comes down. Isaac Cappy was murdered in Belmont, Arizona on May 13th, 2019, Monday morning at 7:22 a.m. for a reason. Because everything that you are dealing with right now, you know about now, Isaac knew about. And he was on his way to see his mother. He's going to come back and do some more work, and they killed him. So, that's what they...
We got to do a bigger show on that. We have to do a bigger show on that, because I differ from Corey's thesis, and that's okay.
I'm going to be on Sean Atwood's show again here pretty soon. He just got in touch with me yesterday, so he wants me back on to discuss this.
And you can follow Corey Daniels' work at. He's on Rumble. He's on. Are you still on YouTube? I've never asked you. You're on.
No, because I got to watch my language and what I say.
Yes.
I don't. So
yeah, you're inappropriate. You might be. So you can catch him on everywhere except for YouTube. You might catch him on Korean television for all we know, but he's on Brighteon as well.
I'm big in Japan.
And Rumble. He's big in Japan, and not for the reasons you might think. Also, you can catch him joining me quite often. He's going to be our residential, esoteric, inappropriate expert. And my final thing is, to piggyback what Corey was saying, the whole thing really, as Epstein is Epstein is the centerpiece, to the point where it's even said that all the files that they're not going to release are in every single bit of Bitcoin. Believe it or not, I don't know how that works, but the fakery, the fraudulence, the confuckery, as Corey coined that phrase,
confuculation.
It's everywhere. I stand corrected. The confuculation. It's everywhere. To the fact that who do we think invented everything tranny, the transhumanism? This all came from the Khazarians. To the point that they even have trans-Tifa shooters now shooting their own kids, and this is what that guy in Rhode Island looked like. They're now even trying to make the trannies look like Sammy Hagar. I mean, look at this.
Speaking of which, do you know why these trannies are? Do you know why they're all vegetarians? By the way,
tell me.
Because they were herbivores.
Okay. All right, I did not know that.
They were
can catch more of that later with Corey. Okay, so we'll be opening at the Tropicana too. All right, everybody, we're going to end it there. What an opening act he is, everyone. Lovely guy. All right, for Corey, for Corey Daniel, and all of us here at Late Night Update, I'm Dean Ryan saying thank you for sharing your late night with all of us. Catch me tomorrow night. I'll be back with Real Deal Media Live. And we'll be having a more sobering of night, and we'll get to some Canadian issues and headlines from around the world. Until then, Until next time, always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. Good night, everybody.
Peace out.